you've got quite a good operation going down in Phoenix. I'd love to learn a little more about it. What's the backstory on your shop?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me up to beautiful Colorado.
You bet.
And I love the operation that you have here at Ridgegate Financial.
Thank you.
Your team is doing an amazing job, and excited to see the growth that you guys are doing and achieving. So
Appreciate
it looks like you're doing all the right things. But our shop, located in the Northwest Valley of Phoenix in beautiful Sun City, Mike, my partner and founder of Oxford, been doing business for 40 years there in the Valley, and he brought me in early 2007 and worked my way up to VP and president. Now I own the firm, and we really focus on education first. Everything we do a lot of educational classes. We teach at 5 different colleges on different retirement topics, from Social Security and income planning to tax planning to estate planning to investment pre and post retirement classes. And so our goal is to educate the community first and foremost, and I think the best client is an educated client, to be able to help coach them. We're not there to be their one-all be-all advisor. I don't think anyone cares about your money more than you do, and I think most of us just need a coach to be their CFO or soundboard to bounce ideas and different strategies of what they should and shouldn't be doing.
Before you met Mike, you said 2007.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
So I'm a native of Arizona. I raced cattle in 4-H. That's how I bought my first car. And early 2001, not thinking we'd be going to war anytime soon, I wanted to travel and see the world. So I decided to join the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
It is, right? And so got into the Navy in March of 2001 and went into search and rescue, helicopter search and rescue, and worked my way through the programs to combat search and rescue. And I've done a couple tours, one of them around the world on the Carl Vinson, and 37 combat missions over Iraq. I really enjoyed it. I had a passion for it, really excelled at it, but knew that's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to have the freedoms that everyone has, right, to be able to travel, spend time with their families. Not that you can't do that in the military, but it's extremely hard, as most people know. So before getting out, I met with Mike and said, hey, I know I don't have the gray hair like everybody else does in the industry, but I assure you, teach me everything you know. And he said, let's do that. So as far as timing goes, getting into the financial industry in early 07, right?
Great
so
timing.
I've got impeccable timing on my life, right? I wouldn't change it for the world. But it was quite interesting getting out of the military, where I was saving lives and doing things like that. And I wanted to get into the financial world to help people, right? I mean, that's our number one goal, is to help people. That's what motivates me. And it was devastating getting into the financial industry and meeting with people that lost 40, 50, 60, some people everything they had, and in
Talk
tears.
about shell shock. Yeah.
Right. They don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
And so that was my early phase of my investment advisory career. And I knew within the first year that I don't want my clients to ever go through that situation. And I built our practice off education to make sure that the people I meet with and that I work with, how we structure their investments, to make sure that doesn't happen to them.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really did pick the timing.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
The location, you're down there, you said Sun City?
Yeah, Northwest Phoenix, Sun City. We're right on Bell, which is the busiest street in Arizona. We got about 70,000 cars a day. We have a good shop there. I got about 9 staff currently, 3 advisors, and again, do a lot of retirement classes. We actually, most advisory firms don't get call-ins and walk-ins, as you know.
Right. Yeah.
But we get them every day, and so
I think that 10-foot billboard that you have
the
front
big digital
probably helps
sign
a
out
little
front. But before we had that, people would stop in and say, Oxford Retirement, my mom needs to go into a nursing home, can you help us, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we put the billboard out front.
Sure.
Now people know we're actually a financial firm. But we must be doing something right, because we live in a community that's 55 plus, Sun City, right? And everyone seems pretty happy. I don't have anyone picketing out front, and we've been in business a long time. So
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, I know you mentioned helping people with the search and rescue, helping people with the finances. you and I hit it off right away. I remember a good friend of ours told me what you were up to down there. I gave you a call out of the blue. You had no idea who I was.
Right.
And I just said, I heard you're doing some great education, Social Security stuff. You told me about it, so open, so freely giving, and generous with your time. I think I was down in your office the next day. Flew down.
You didn't wait.
And it's been great. So that's I think that comes across, and that's I think one reason why you get referrals.
Yeah.
Is when you're referable.
Yeah.
And I think the caring really does come through.
Yeah.
On a personal note, this is not theory for you. You've got you got a dad who I know you care an awful lot about. Yeah. And so it's not just a matter of seeing clients getting older or their parents getting older. This kind of hit home. How's he doing?
My dad's doing really good. He's 83, but had a respiratory failure the last month. Thought we were going to lose him a couple times. But got it figured out with the right machine and technology, and he's back home doing really well. So thanks for asking. But my dad, I'm younger than a lot of people in our industry, right? And I think a lot of people appreciate that, my clients, because they know I'm going to be with them throughout their retirement, right?
Yeah.
They know I'm not going anywhere. But it also, my father is the age of some of my clients' parents, right? And I'm going through the same scenarios of, hey, assisted living, nursing home, health scares, right? That a lot of people my age wouldn't be going through yet. So it's kind of crazy. I actually live side by side. I'm a different generation than my clients, younger, but I kind of, with my family, since I'm the baby, I'm going through a lot of the same scenarios. And so it helps. All these things, like I said, the crash of '08 coming into the financial industry, all these things in my own personal life help me to change how I do my planning, right? Just like you, right?
Well, it lets you in a way that
absolutely
you can't unless you've experienced it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So family's good. My stepdaughter's turning 18 this year. She's graduating from high school, going up to NAU.
Uh-oh.
So we're excited about that. My son just turned 16, and so he's got a new car and got his license and going through that. That's
quite the athlete too, right?
Yeah. So he's doing football, and now he's focused 100% on wrestling, and went to state. He lost his state championship match due to a disqualification, which is it was pretty petty without a warning or anything, but I won't go into detail there. But it was quite frustrating. And then my daughter, soccer since basically 6 years old, right?
Yeah, sure.
But she came to us and said, hey, like a lot of probably parents have experienced that they've been doing it so long. She says, I don't want to play in college. I want to focus on college life. Well, I hope it's the right college life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, my wife retired about a year and a half, 2 years ago from the Air Force. Unfortunately, she married somebody that does retirement planning, right? So, I'm going to retire in my 40s and I'm not working anymore. I'm like, no, you married the wrong guy for that, right? So she's working for Lockheed and running the F-16 simulators at Luke Air Force Base.
Nice.
Really seems to enjoy it, and so that's good. And so life is good. My parents, actually, my mom and my stepfather, they moved up to Pagosa Springs last year.
Okay.
So now I get to come up here even more so, and got a beautiful place. And so Colorado, southern Colorado's always, I've always enjoyed it.
It's beautiful.
Once I finally retire, I could definitely see myself here in Colorado. I love it here.
Well, we certainly hope to see you up here more often.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about you making a visit for a while. Glad we finally made it a reality.
Right,
So,
absolutely.
Landon Randall, Oxford Retirement.
Yeah.
You going to keep the name?
Oh, you want to go into detail on that?
Short version.
So, unfortunately, in our industry,
You got a brand.
with regulations that you don't really buy the company, you buy the assets of the company.
That's right.
So, I've always had my own firm where everything gets paid to, and running that side by side to be able to make this acquisition from Mike. And so, the name of our firm that actually owns Oxford Retirement Estate Planning is called Hybrid Wealth Management.
Okay.
Because I believe what we do is hybrid. It's not all market. It's not all fixed. We do a lot of planning. We got basically 3 pillars when we take our clients through. Income planning, first and foremost, you got to get that figured out. Then move on to the investment plan. How do we manage it as best as possible? And then our legacy plan. Is it my church, my charity, my kids? how do I maximize the benefit, reduce what goes to the government, and do that right. So Hybrid Wealth Management is the name of our firm that owns Oxford Retirement. Nobody really sees it, but Mike, my partner and mentor that taught me everything and got me to where I'm at, he's not retiring. He's still working there, and he's not ready to retire. We just kind of put in place our succession plan ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so the name will stay the same as long as we want to. Sure. I don't have. We got a great brand. Like we said, Mike's been doing business in Arizona for over 40 years. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
well,
it's good.